More on this, let's bring in Omer Ozkizilcik. He's a security analyst and a non-residential fellow at the Atlantic Council. He joins me now from the Turkish capital. Great to see you. Good to have you here with us. So it seems to me this YPG, PKK terrorist groups plan to establish a terrorist corridor between Tel Rifat and northeastern Syria is aimed at exploiting the chaos that Syria is seeing right now. I wonder, to what extent do you think the SNA's operation is going to strategically disrupt this plan, and what does it mean for the wider security spectrum of northern Syria?
First of all, after the Assad regime decided to hand over territories to the YPG terror group in an attempt to use them as a buffer to win time. And there was a clear handover by the Assad regime. However, the SNA moved in very fast, very quickly, very rapidly. And as of now, we can say clearly that this plan failed. Why did it fail? Because a corridor, the corridor was cut. Secondly, the western side of this corridor, Tel Rifat, is no longer under the control of the YPG. And soon, I think, it will be also on the news. Tel Rifat is being controlled now by the SNA. The YPG has lost control over the region of Tel Rifat. So the advance of the Syrian opposition was quite fast. It was very rapid. And we have seen a total collapse of the YPG's defensive lines. Now the remaining YPG militants in a small pocket, it's unclear if they will be evacuated or if they will surrender to the SNA.
Now, Omer, given the fact that the PKK-YPG terrorist group has a history of leveraging alliances with other factors in the region for example, right now they're leveraging an alliance with the Assad regime. In the past, they have done it with the Russians. I wonder, to what extent do you think this poses a threat to Turkey's national security, especially given the fact it's happening right at Turkey's border?
So it will affect Turkey very positively because, first of all, the Turkish safe zone was under constant harassment from the region of Tel Rifat. That will no longer be. The region of Tel Rifat was always a staging ground of the YPG to try to infiltrate into Afrin. That will no longer be. And most importantly for Turkey now is not only the fight against terrorism, but also the return of refugees, the ability of Syrians to go home. And approximately 200,000 Syrians in the region of Tel Rifat are now able to return back home as they have been displaced from the region by the YPG. And secondly, now there's a direct land route from the Turkish town of Gaziantep up until Aleppo, which goes to Tel Rifat. By securing control over this highway, the Syrian opposition has now a fully functioning logistical line into Turkey. And the Syrian refugees in Turkey will probably, in the coming days, in the coming weeks, months, return to Syria by the thousands, if not by the 100,000.
So, Omer, as I understand, you're indicating that what's going on right now in terms of this operation is a very positive development for Turkey. So in terms of Turkey achieving its strategic objectives of avoiding the creation of this terrorist corridor, can it be said that Turkey has accomplished in doing so?
We can not say that Turkey has fully accomplished its goals because the YPG's presence in Manbij and eastern side of the Euphrates still remain. The half of the areas are in the Russian zone of influence. The other half is in the American zone of influence. However, with the need in Syria, I think the likelihood of a new agreement between Trump and Erdogan on Syria has increased drastically. So we will see how things will evolve on the ground. We will see where the Syrian opposition, Syrian rebels will stop. That's quite unclear as of now. But once things settle down, the Trump administration enters into office, I think the Turkish president and the American president will have a lengthy discussion and negotiations that could probably resolve the issue in Syria for Turkey.
Omer Ozkizilcik, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.